Okay, fair warning, if you watch this movie, there will be two things that will happen to you. One, you will not be able to get the song Footloose out of your head, and two, you will not be able to stop saying, "Let's dance!" Like, it will be in your mind, and you will be singing that song like crazy, and, yeah. Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for another classic movie. This time I'm reviewing to you the 1984, musical dance movie classic, Footloose. Now, prior to watching the original Footloose, all I had seen of Footloose was the new one. Now, I had seen the new one. I remember watching this in 2012, I believe, when it came out. It came out in 2011, but I watched it in 2012. However, I never saw the original. I know my parents had seen the original. I'd seen parts of the original because my mom, sometimes if this movie's on TV, she watches this movie because, my parents grew up with this movie because, they were teenagers in the 80s, and I was really looking forward to watching this movie because of that. And, overall, what did I think of Footloose? I really enjoyed Footloose. Is it a perfect movie? No, it's not a perfect movie. It works for the time that it was created. It's it has its cheesy moments, but it's a very well put together movie with a very good cast and also really, really good music. Let's talk about what Footloose is about. Footloose, if you guys don't know what Footloose is about, it's about this town who basically, they are a very wild town. There was just this recent, car crash, a bunch of kids, 4 kids in a car, after a party. They were all drunk and they died. So, basically, the reverend of the town, he has placed, played by John Lithgow, the minister, he has placed a ban on dancing. And, because, the kids were at a party and they were dancing, and he placed a ban on dancing. So, this new kid, Ren McCormick, comes to town, who's played by Kevin Bacon, he's very into dancing. In fact, that's like his forte. Dancing is like the thing he likes to do. When he hears, about this law, he, of course, is not happy about it, and he really wants to take a stand and change things, and, he really just wants to change things. And that's what Footloose really is all about, and overall, I really enjoyed, this movie. As I said, it is cheesy, but you know what? It's an 80s movie. All 80s teen movies are somewhat cheesy. They can't all be like The Breakfast Club, which is not cheesy at all. This movie is very cheesy at times. However, it's also very, very fun. That's the first thing I'll say about this movie, is that it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie, and I overall really enjoyed it. Let's first get to the acting in this movie. The acting is very good in this movie. First of all, you have Kevin Bacon as Ren McCormick, who, this kid, you can tell he was having a lot of fun when he was making this movie. I mean, I'm sure years back, he's now on he's now on that show The Following, but years back, I'm sure he still pops this in and watches it, and man, is he a great dancer. Like, he did his own dancing to this movie. It's important to know that he did his own dancing, and he did a really good job in this movie. Like, he's a really good dancer. I had no idea Kevin Bacon could dance like that. And he's really, really good. Like, he's amazing in this movie. I thought he did a really great job. I really enjoyed his character in this movie. I liked how he really wanted to take a stand, and he really wanted to help out everyone in the town and just make things better for everyone. And that's really what he cared about in this movie, is to fix things and make things better. And that's really ultimately what he wanted to do in this movie. Then you have Laurie Singer as Ariel, who's kind of the rebellious daughter of the minister. She's a very abusive boyfriend. I really cared for her character because nothing went her way. Her dad wouldn't let her dance, which she really liked to do. She had a very abusive boyfriend who wouldn't let her be with, Ren, who she really did like. I really enjoyed her character. I thought she did a really good job. At times, there were some scenes with her character that was a little cheesy, but I enjoyed her character overall. I thought she did a good job. Diane West played her mother, who kind of, I thought she did a good job. I liked the pairing of her. But by far, the best part of this movie is John Lithgow. Like, he's really good in the movie. I think he was probably the best in the movie. He gave a really good performance, and I really enjoyed his acting in the movie. He was, really, really good, and I really enjoyed, his acting. He was really good. Alright, let's talk about, of course, I don't even really talk about spoilers in the movie, but I guess I will. If you guys have not seen Footloose, there are a couple spoilers to this movie, so yeah. So, of course, in the movie, the one thing that I wasn't expecting in the movie is as much violence as there was. There's a lot of violent scenes in this movie. I wasn't really expecting that at all. You know, I really wasn't expecting that with this movie. I wasn't expecting that, but also, the other guy that I forgot to talk about that very good acting was Chris Penn, his best friend, really, really funny. There's this one scene it's a classic scene. Chris Penn, his friend, you know, his best friend, played by Chris Penn, he has no idea how to dance, he has no idea what he's doing, so Ren teaches him how to dance in this nice little montage, you know, with the song Let's Hear It for the Boy. It's just a very, like, funny scene because it's a kid who doesn't know how to dance and he's actually really getting the hang of it and he becomes really good. I just really enjoyed that scene. I thought he did a really, I thought that was a really fun scene in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was a really fun scene. So yeah, he did a really great job in the movie as well. But basically, of course, at the end, as we know, there's that, you know, the minister, of course, they're burning the books, and he feels bad that they have to do this, so he decides, you know what, it's not that bad if they dance, and he lets them dance. But then there's that huge fight that breaks out between Ren and Ariel's boyfriend, which I kind of found that a little bit unnecessary, to tell you. I understand why they did it, because, like, they wanted her boyfriend to be the main, like, villain of this movie. Even though John Lithgow he's more of the villain in the movie. I understood why they did it. I just felt like this movie did not really need that. That's the thing. I felt like this movie did not really need to have a rebellious boyfriend. That's the one thing I felt like this movie did not need to have. But then, of course, you know, he lets them dance, and they dance, and you know, they end up dancing and everything, and that's basically how the movie ends. It ends with them dancing, so not much of a spoiler, but just in case you guys haven't seen it, yeah. You know, he lets them go to the prom and everything, and they dance. Okay. Let's talk about the best part of this movie, the soundtrack. The music and the dance in this movie is awesome. That's the best part of this movie, by far. The music is so good in this movie. Like, you're not going to be able to get these songs stuck out of your head. Footloose, Let's Hear It for the Boy, Almost Paradise, what other songs are in there? I'm Free, like, so many classic songs are in this movie. Holding Out for a Hero with the classic, tractor drag race scene, which is always really fun to watch. The soundtrack is really, really great to this movie. I'll say that right now. That's really the best part of this movie, is the soundtrack. It's really awesome. The way they inflicted the soundtrack onto this movie. They did a really good job of doing that. The other thing that I really enjoyed about the movie was the dancing. I mean, as I said, the dancing is the best part of the movie. Wow, there is such great choreography in this movie. Of course, this movie was directed by Herbert Ross and was also produced by Craig Zadan, who would later partner with Neil Murren for a lot of musical movies. But Herbert Ross did a really good job with this movie. He really knew how to make the movie a lot of fun, and that's just the thing with this movie, it's a lot of fun. When it's not, like, heavily dramatic, it's a lot of fun, in my opinion. Like, there are some scenes that are really dramatic that I felt didn't need to be as dramatic, but I enjoyed that about the movie. I enjoyed that it took us some risks, but I liked that the movie was basically just a lot of fun. I enjoyed that about the movie, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that about the movie. I thought it was definitely very, very well done. And, yeah, what else can I say about the movie? I'll say this. It definitely is a movie for its time. I understand why it's a classic, because it's a very interesting plot. Like, what if a town couldn't dance? Think about it. What if a town... what if it was illegal to dance? Think about it. I would not be happy if it was illegal to dance, because I like to dance, and that'd be bad, because I get arrested all the time. But basically... Footloose is a true classic that everyone should watch. I really do think you guys should watch this movie. It is a kind of cheesy at times, especially in, like, the fighting scenes. I found the fighting scenes to be kind of cheesy, but overall, I do enjoy this movie, and I do recommend you guys watch it. Now, how is it compared to the new one? The new one is not as cheesy, I'll say that. The new one's not as cheesy. It has very good acting, you know, from, like, Julianne Hough and Dennis Quaid and... Andy McDowell, Miles Teller, really good acting in this movie. However, I think this movie is better overall. It's the original. It's the original. It has the best acting, the best versions of the songs, the best dancing. I think the original from 1984 by Herbert Ross is good. Don't get me wrong. I love the I love the Craig Zadan and Neil Murrin version. I also, I love the Craig Brewer version. I thought they did a good job with it, but I really enjoy this one a lot more. I feel like this one's more forgettable, but this one's not as forgettable. So yeah, definitely check out Footloose if you guys haven't. If you guys do want to check it out, if you don't, and if you haven't, it is on Netflix. You guys can check it out, and I highly recommend you guys check out Footloose. It is a true classic. Alright, so that's basically it for my review of Footloose. Let me just tell you guys, the next movie I'm going to be reviewing to you is absolutely ridiculous. The reason I'm reviewing it to you guys is because it's a movie from the 80s. I'm going to give you 3 hints as to the next movie I'm reviewing to you guys, because it's probably going to be the most ridiculous movie I've ever reviewed. However, I'm reviewing it just because I've heard it's hilarious. I'll give you 3 hints as to what this movie is. 1, it's a popular movie from the 80s. 2, it's not a kid's movie. And 3, it's a ridiculous cult classic. And that's all I'm going to say. But that's in my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for the next classic movie review, which will probably be for the most ridiculous movie, for one of the most ridiculous movies I've ever reviewed. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.